Welcome to... You do it.
Fauna.
What the fauna? The incredibly amazing, wonderful, highly popular show that helps you learn about animals and
Or at
gets
least
you to
a
laugh.
very good hobby to keep us sane.
No, it. We crossed that bridge years ago.
Years ago.
The fact that you think we haven't crossed it now makes me question you. That's the worrying part. Now I'm like, wait, you know we're nuts.
I am fine. I am the most sane person anybody that knows me knows.
Yeah. Yeah, there's insane asylums full of people like you. Actually, there's not, because for anyone who doesn't know, we live in the United States, and in the United States, we do not prioritize mental health by actually giving people a safe space.
In healthcare, if you can't afford it, then you should just go to jail.
Just go live on the streets. Yeah, so we don't actually have a lot of mental institutions in America because, well, we kind of suck.
Yeah, mental health care is
that's something for snowflakes. Fuck you.
Snowflakes. Yeah.
So anyway, I am Jen, your co-host, and my other co-host. I'm Whitney. Co-host then? I'm not a
host.
I am a co-host, but I'm not my co-host.
Hosty. Left co-host.
Yeah. So anyway, welcome to What the Fauna. So today we're going to talk about, I know I say this every time, an amazing creature, and apparently Whitney's cat.
Oh my God, I have a cat
is our other co-host. So I was not wrong.
What do you want, cat? What do you want?
To rub its butt on you, to claim ownership of you. But since it's mewing at you, I would anticipate it thinks you're an idiot.
I think he thinks he needs food, it is 2.5 hours early. So what are you breaking now, cat? He's very upset. Okay.
Yeah, cats in the wild don't typically meow at each other. So if they meow at you, it's because they think you're too stupid. This is my opinion. They think you're too stupid to pick up on their subtle clues. So they've got to treat you like they would a kitten and be like, meow. Yeah, that's what this means.
That's
meow.
Not true. Domestic cats do actually meow at each other. The problem is a lot of people think of wild cats like the Fisher cats and stuff like that, which don't because of predators and whatnot. But domestic cats actually do make all these vocalizations.
I think it's for human benefit. I really do. I prefer to think that the cats.
I mean, the thing is,
I've got a lot of theories about cats based on very little data.
We have a whole thing. There's actually some great books to go out there where they basically discuss not just the evolution, like most historical stuff is just like, we changed dogs, kind of thing, like domestication. But in reality, the way evolution works, the two creatures actually affect each other. So there's a few books out there now that are, and some very smart evolutionary scientists that have looked at it more from a mutual evolution point with a lot of these domestic species. So
what benefit are we getting from the cats?
But also the cats.
What benefit do we get from the cats?
Cats. So I don't even think
Toxoplasmosis. May I say that? No. Pest control.
Yeah.
Okay, pest control.
There is pest control, but although studies are showing more and more that they are shit at actually getting the things we want them to get. They just kill things indiscriminately, but the things that we want them to
not get. Not the songbird. It is not hurting me.
But my personal theory on cats is that, as you just said, the toxoplasmosis. We don't love cats because we bred them to do a thing for us. We love them because we're infected by a fungus that's doing mind control.
We'll do a whole episode on it. Actually, so this is episode number 14. So 15 on the 5s, we do a weird topic. I was hoping to do Stalin's human-animal hybrid experiments, but we could do toxoplasmosis in cats too.
I'm fine with either. We'll figure it out by the next episode then.
Yeah, give us a couple days.
But yeah, no, that's my theory on cats. We don't actually. Yeah, that's also would explain the near psychotic nature that the internet has with cats.
And cats I mean, they're not like the one playing the piano and all that stuff. They're really not energetically participating.
No,
They're more just kind of like, whatever, fine. You
whatever.
you can marionette me for a little while. I'll get
Yes,
bored and then I'll bite you.
there we go.
Um, yeah.
But
Yeah. Anyway, back to
back
really
to
what we're doing. Welcome
yeah,
to
so
back to What the Fauna,
because
the actual
the thing that
show
we're
you've
talking about
signed in to
today
listen
has
to.
is much louder, especially per pound, if you
Oh
will,
God, I would like to think of it
than
possibly as
even
one of the loudest.
Rakshasa, my cat, yelling for food.
Mhm. Today is exciting. We are going to do our very, very first arthropod.
Arthropod.
Arthropod. God damn it.
Anthropod would be like a human
I
foot.
know. I know. The R looked like an N. It made my brain. Maybe we should just restart the whole episode here.
Oh
Okay,
no! Oh
our
no!
first arthropod. Okay, so arthropods. We're going to do a little general arthropods. There are 4 major groups of arthropods. They're the insects.
He's going to be like this the whole episode. I see him just creeping up,
The
meowing behind me.
myriapods, which are centipedes, millipedes. The arachnids, spiders, mites, scorpions. And the crustaceans, which are prawns, crabs, those guys.
Yes.
So
Things with
arthropods,
a chitinous outer.
yes, they've got hard outer shells. They've got actually, I think arthropod means segmented foot or something like that.
Yeah, they basically since they are, got the harder outer part, they got those joints, kind of deal.
Yeah,
so segments. With
if you want to get down to a really basic level of development, we talked about this before, where cell dividing starts for reproduction. However we get there, because we've covered a lot of different ways of getting there too. But the cells start to divide, and they form a little ball of cells called a blasteopore, and then there's a little dimple in it. Now, humans, mammals,
is it the butt or the mouth? What's the dimple?
This is like the beginnings of life question. Is it an ass or a mouth? If you are a human and you are listening to this, pretty much most things listening to this, it was your ass. You were a ball of cells with an ass. You were initially
a vertebrate. It was your asshole that came first.
You were an asshole. Congratulations, everyone. And I am using that term properly for once. You were all a bunch of assholes. I feel
at
very
one
good.
point in time.
Yes.
With no mouth.
The arthropods, they were a mouth first. They were a big fucking mouth. Then their asshole came.
Yes.
Later on. So even on a very fundamental beginning developmental level, these guys are very different than us.
Yes.
Then we go into the cells, twisting and all that stuff, but you don't care about that. I just wanted to use the word asshole a bunch of times and call everyone assholes. I've had
assholes.
Fucking asshole.
Now this turned into a whole nother podcast.
Oh, yeah. Me just stringing profanities together. We're going
to get an internet warning.
Like we don't have one already. Okay.
Well, yeah.
So
anyway.
So it is 2024. In case people are still listening in the future, which I really hope you are. So we're in 2024. And I, at this moment in time, live in the state of Illinois. So the state of Illinois at the moment is kind of, it's always weird, but we're having, we just had a solar.
You're getting the double one, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're getting the double one. So we just had a solar eclipse, to which, much to my dismay, the rapture didn't happen, and I still have a lot of people I have to deal with. But now we're getting another apocalyptic type-esque thing in Illinois. We are getting the synchronized emerging of 2 different massive broods of cicadas happening this year.
Yes.
So we're going to cover cicadas, or specifically...
I want to say the last time it happened was 2017?
That we had cicadas, yes. That we had a big brood.
Well,
it was
it was someplace else, but it was
the duel.
Yeah. I want to say supposedly 2017.
In this area where I am,
in your area, this is the first one.
This is the first one since 1803.
Yeah. There was another one in the U.S., continental U.S. I want to say 2015, maybe 2017.
I think it's 2017. I think I heard that doing research.
Yeah. There's also
But we're doing we're talking about cicadas. Cicada in the group, there's over 3,000 species.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that because we're limiting down to seven.
A lot of the
species.
stuff we're going to talk about is going to relate to all cicadas, basically.
But we're going to focus on the apocalypse that's happening in Illinois in 2024.
Okay.
That hasn't happened for 221 years and won't happen for another 221 years.
Kind of.
Everything we say is kind of. There's
a problem that's happening that's actually affecting all of their
it's called humans.
Once again, I'm going to say it again because it's every episode. They're getting fucked by climate change.
Climate change is huge, yeah. So, we'll go into how, but so we're gonna focus on the 7. I'm gonna say it wrong. Megicicadas.
Maggie
cicadas.
Magic, think magic cicada.
But it's
magic cicada.
Magic cicada. Okay.
MAGI.
Okay, Maggie cicada.
Well, you just say magic cicada. Yeah.
Magic cicada. Please don't anyone turn this into a soundbite or something.
Oh, I'm turning all of these into sound bites.
I have enough embarrassment in my life. Like you don't want to be me trying to go to sleep at night. I'm still going over, in 4th grade. I think I called my teacher mom by accident. I mean, this is still, it's still there.
Anxiety.
Anxiety. My best friend. So there are 7 species that do this, and these are the ones they're like 13 or 17 year underground, and then they come out and they emerge for a couple months.
4 species are 13 year and 3 are 17.
There are 12 17 year and 3 13 year.
Wait. However, there's 7 species, and then there's.
You're absolutely right. Broods. I'm sorry. I mixed up brood versus species. I apologize terribly. Whitney is right.
Yes.
Okay. Is, which sucks.
What was that?
You're wonderful. Thank you. I love you too.
Am I right? I'm right.
Yes, you're right.
What happens?
For the our listeners, for those, Whitney's the expert. I'm the enthusiast. So
I'm not an entomologist, though.
No, rarely people are.
Yeah,
it takes a certain type of person. And I'm not sure.
In the zoo field, we looked at those people weird.
We're like, what's wrong with them?
Why'd you want to do that? They're cute and fluffy, and even furry.
There's fluffy. There's different types. There's a feathered fluffy, and there's a haired fluffy. Yeah. I'm sure that there's even a reptilian with the big eyes and stuff.
Oh yeah, we can even get to the reptilians within those entomologists. Just weird,
right? They're all segmented bodies and no spinal columns.
Here he comes again.
Ugh.
You're not getting fed for 3 hours, cat. Deal with it.
Yeah, so there's different. These are talking about the major broods in the United States I was talking about. So there are 12, 17 year and 3 13 year broods. And you were saying the species.
What was that? Oh.
How many are 17 year species and how many are 13?
I thought it was 3 17 and 4 13, but I could have that mixed up. I just know like it's about half and half, but.
So what's happening in 2024 in Illinois, a lot of the Midwest in America, is 2 major broods. The Illinois brood, which has been, I think, labeled number 13, and the Great Southern brood, which is number 19, are emerging at the same time. And they do overlap mainly. Guess where the main town or the main space they overlap is? Springfield, Illinois.
Oh, fun.
I didn't know what I don't know. But yeah, so they're these 2 because there's annual cicadas that come out every year.
And not every year. Usually it's every 2 to 5. Somewhere
2 to 5. Okay. Yeah. So more regular. But this is gonna be deafening. Yes. Hopefully, I hope.
Cacophonous, if you will. Cacophonous.
Are you just upset because we're doing an insect and you can't say the word cock? If you want to say
cock, I mean they got cocks. They got cocks.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Everything on this show is kind of. Everything is stuff.
That's how all of biology is. Here's the rule in biology. Ignore that one over there.
Yeah. There's always somebody coming. But wait. So these guys are pretty much. Whitney always hates it because I'm always saying that these animals are found all over the world. Cicadas are but the Megicicada are not. They're only found in North America. Why? No one fucking knows.
And
At least
well,
no one. At least
cicadas
no
are
one
found.
told me. I
Hold it.
looked.
They're found all over the world except
Antarctica.
yeah,
that's true. Yes, Antarctica. Actually, I read an article that said that they were found and they listed everywhere, but they left out Europe. And I was like, what?
Wait,
Like
what?
Asia, Africa, Americas, are, but not Europe. Like, how did it
Right.
skip Europe? You're gonna
Usually,
understand more.
Yeah.
They live on trees, mostly deciduous, but any sort of tree plant, really, root. So it was kind of odd.
I
Like,
wouldn't say they live on, but more under.
Yes,
Yeah.
under. So it was really odd to me, kind of like, what the hell did Europe do? Like, there's a line that Russia, like when Russia comes in a little further, it's like, okay, now we'll bring our cicadas with. But before that,
Yeah,
no,
before that, no.
no cicadas. Anyway, so I consider these guys kind of the fauna kingdom or fauna classification. Things classified as fauna. These are some of the ultimate derps. These guys. So a lot of people ask why these mass broods where you'll get 1.5 million cicadas emerging from the ground in 1 acre.
Okay, in an acre, yeah, 1.5 billion. I know overall when they emerge, they sometimes
Trillions.
measure billions and trillions, yeah,
billions and trillions. But
whole
1 acre of land, so like my yard's 2 acres, so I could have 3 million cicadas.
Yes.
Coming out of the ground. Theoretically, I have a house and I've done things to my yard, so probably not.
Yes,
but
probably not.
Theoretically, that's possible. So why? This is where I get into. I love them because they're major derps. Their strategy, these type of cicadas, these broods, their survival strategy is called predator cetacean survival theory.
So that's, I'm gonna go ahead complete that, but that is technically only one theory. There's actually 4 potential reasons.
Okay, I love this one because this one makes them the biggest derps.
Yeah.
So think about predatory cetacean strategy. Cetacean. Cetacean. Like they've had enough.
Cessation.
This theory right here is the ultimate of you and your idiot friends are all you're camping and you're all in the woods camping and you hear a bear and you're like, I'm gonna trip so and so I make it out alive. That's what this theory is basically, if there's enough to feed all the bears, maybe you'll survive.
Yes.
So, because cicadas don't really, they don't have stingers, they don't really bite, they're not venomous, they're not toxic, they're not poisonous. Nope. They're really just they're really kind of meant to be the bottom of the food chain, I guess. I don't know.
More or less.
The only creatures that have problems. Okay, so there are some problems with maybe if you eat too many, your dog's gonna barf it up all over your carpet, and that's gross and it smells nasty. So maybe try and keep your pets from eating too many as they come out this year.
Right.
The other problem is some people in some circumstances have had anaphylactic shock reactions to them because
it would take a lot, but
yeah. Well, I'm not sure they're even eating them, but like, the people who, if you have allergies to shellfish, maybe don't buy a skin cream made of cicadas. I don't know, and rub it up your butt. Don't do that.
Up the butt.
That is your public health announcement from Genevieve. Don't put cicada butter in your butt.
Don't do it.
Oh, by the way, did I mention today? Did I give the warning? We're not for children. This is not a kid's show.
A child podcast.
Yes. So if you don't want to hear about cicada-made lube, for you don't want your children hearing about that.
You have to explain cocks to them because there was that.
Oh, there's that. Yeah. Yeah, or the giant asshole. You're an asshole. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yep, you're an asshole.
So they're really derps, and they just emerge. Okay, so the theory that I like is so many of them are out, millions and trillions of them are out, that all the birds the toads, everything that eats insects like this is so full and fat from them that maybe some will survive enough to make more.
And by some, we mean 90+% of them, because they
Right.
do such a hoard. So there's also another thing with that theory, because they have recently been doing some studies, which it takes a long time to get these studies on these guys because you can only do it every 17 years.
Which is why like scientists are all excited,
Yeah.
like they're losing it in their pants right now because two
It's a-
giant broods. Oh my
Going-
god,
yep.
it's
So
221 years apart. So you can see them. Can they breed with each other? Can they do this?
yes,
Can they do that?
that goes into a couple other theories.
Mhm.
So first, with the predatory cessation, there also is a lot of the birds and different things that eat cicadas. They find that they have a population drop off 1 year before. So there's a theory that that's part of the cycle, because the thing with a predator is they tend to have cycles of 1, 2, and 3, maybe up to 5 annual things in between. So which that goes with the prime number 13 or 17, because that's another theory with it.
Mhm.
If they have that, then they're never in one of those predatory upswing cycles because they
Oh,
always miss it.
nice. Okay.
So that's why the prime number is important, because the thing is, however many times you take 2 or 3 or whatever, multiply it, you'll never hit the same year as a cicada eruption.
Okay, so you're never gonna have a giant uptick in predators the year
Predators
before.
right when they spawn.
Nice.
So that's also why they have the prime number, so they
There's-
never match up with them.
There's
Because
also
the next year after they do this, guess what happens to the predators?
boom.
Upswing.
But there's also something that interestingly, agriculture-wise, happens the year before these things happen too, is plants tend to have smaller yields.
Yeah.
Theory behind that is the cicadas that are underground are so big at that point, they're draining so much xylem and taking so much nutrients from the plants that the plants have the worst year right before
But
the
that
next year.
doesn't make sense.
I think it doesn't.
It
I
doesn't,
kinda thought it made
because
sense.
the 17-year locusts stopped growing at age 10. So they've been that big for 7 years. So that can't be it.
So, all right. Well, so that's one theory wrong, which I like, though. I mean, it made sense because it kind of goes into that everything is way more
and for the most
intricately
part,
woven than we think it is. We're like, oh, this and this. No.
They've mostly eaten their fill by age 10 years. So
Okay.
they also probably haven't been eaten for
As much, yeah.
as much, if anything at all, that last 7 years.
So these guys go through 6. They're called instar, INSTAR stages of life. You know,
well, instars are specifically a stage in life when they're in their nymph stage.
Yeah,
Sorry.
their nymph stage. So there's 6
this is basically
nymph stages, I should
think
say.
of their childhood being divided into 6 things, not their whole life, just their childhood.
Then in that case, I'm sorry for that. I was wrong. Then there's 5. There's 5 for a cicada.
Yes.
I was actually adding a 6th in, forgetting that it meant newt. So the 6th stage of their life is not an instar stage because it's not a nymph stage. It's a final kaboom.
Final countdown. Brown chicken, brown cow.
Sure, why not? That wasn't quite the vibe I was going for. I was going more boom chicka boom boom.
Well, brown chicken, brown cow.
Okay. No, I'll go with it, man.
It's the porn music, because the main thing is it switches to porn music at that point.
It does. It's kindergarten and da 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 da. The lollipop guild, kind of cutesy,
It
and
makes
then all of a
sense in
sudden,
my ADHD brain.
So yeah. So their life cycles are okay. So we'll start. So should we do the happy one where it's like you're a newborn little egg?
Well, before we go there, I want to talk about the other stuff, because there's other reasons why the cycle happened. Other theories behind it.
Mm-hmm.
There is also, because you mentioned that one of the things that scientists want to find out is if they still can and will interbreed when they come out together.
Because that would be fascinating for mutation and strengthening the species. That'd be amazing.
No.
It'd be bad? God damn it.
Bad. Because
this is episode where Genevieve is wrong. Okay.
The reason for the breeding avoidance theory is basically when you start mucking up the genes and they start going like that, then they're no longer going to be coming out on the prime number because it's all genetically decided.
Oh, you're
So when they start
right.
hybridizing, they won't be in the same type of cycle.
Okay.
So it's actually advantageous for them to have different
stay
groupings
in
and
the
to stay
cycle.
off of each other's year and time frame that it would
Here I
be.
was thinking the intermixing genetics wise would be good
Nope, it
to
is
force
considered.
down
Yep.
recessive genes, which is true, but
And
it's overweighted by the messing up of the circadian rhythm.
that's a day thing. That's one day. Circadian rhythm. I see what you did there now. I see what you did there.
It wasn't funny. It was funny. It was a circadian. All right, shut up. I hate
anyway,
you all. You're still a bunch
the
of
other,
assholes.
the other thing is apparently, so this whole immersion is temperature based.
Yes.
So, which
It's
is also what's
when-
fucking with them because some
Yeah.
of the 17-year ones popped out at 14 recently because
So
basically
they wait for the soil to reach the right temperature.
correct. And the thing is that might also be the first time that if it reaches that temperature then goes back down, it might count that as a year.
Oh, okay. Because we
So
don't
now-
know how they're counting these years.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know. It
But we
could
do know that
be the food
temperature
source
issue-
of the plants they're feeding off of.
Mhm.
They feel the flux and the ebb and flow of that. That could be how they're
Correct.
counting. It could be temperature, how they're counting.
Well, we know that temperature has a very important role in it.
Oh, very much so. It determines their emergence.
Yeah, but
So
a
they
couple of the broods are
typically-
now off on their year because they're no longer 17 years.
Oh,
And
great.
the
We're
theory-
eradicating them.
The theory is it is because of the climate change. Basically, we're not sure if it goes down enough and then it comes back up and that's how they count a year rather than like actual like annual thing. They just wait for that
Aw.
temperature. And
Look,
the
we're
thing is,
learning
it's not,
so much because we're destroying it.
yes.
Aw.
And but it also we don't really know what they're doing down there, so we have no idea because they're very hard to research because
It is.
They
They typically
delicate.
So when they first start digging after they hatch from the egg, they dig down and grab like the first stem they can get attached to, kind of root. Excuse me, you're right.
Root,
Actually,
yeah.
they're
They are xylem suckers, not phloem suckers.
xylem suckers.
Xylem, yes.
Yeah, because phloem's kind of farther in, isn't it?
Phloem's farther
Wait.
up.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. This is about fauna, not flora. Take your xylem and phylum and shove it. Or
But
phylum.
the thing is,
whatever.
So they're sap suckers. Is
They're
basically
sap
what
suckers. Love the sap suckers.
except they're like even like really distilled sap suckers because the xylem is what's trying to get the stuff to send it up to the phloem, which goes up to the rest of the plant. So like maple syrup comes from the phloem, which is really thick and whatnot. But
they're also positioned differently in the plant. Like one is toward the base of the stem more, and then I think the xylem is usually located a little farther out, and the phloem is a little bit farther in the stem, if I remember. Am I remembering wrong?
I'm pretty sure xylem. I'll have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure xylem it stops basically at the roots.
I'm not quite sure. But anyway,
there it is. Xylem and phloem. Anyway, continue on.
So they grab onto pretty much the first root they can because they're so little and pathetic and stuff. Well, I shouldn't call them pathetic. They're little. They're little derpies. And then they move on as they get bigger. They move on to bigger roots and bigger sources of xylem. And so they spend the majority of their life once they get there. They're about 2 feet down in the soil. So that's why, I mean, they're kind of hard to. I mean, I guess they're really not that hard to find, but do you really want to keep digging 2 feet, like in all these different little spots? Like, it's a bit of work. Anyone who's had to dig 6 feet down knows that, not that anyone would have to dig 6 feet down, but if you were, never mind, forget that. Digging 2 feet down sucks. So, and then when they're ready to come out, emerge, so to speak, some of them, it's really cool. They build like little stacks, like little, almost, it looks like a little smokestack, or not like a little stack out of the ground, this little like tube, what you'd think an ant would build, kind of like a mud ant. But they wait for about 8 inches above the surface excuse me, 8 inches below the surface. When it gets to 64 degrees Fahrenheit, that's when they're like, yes, it's time. It's the time I've been waiting 13 or 17 years respectively for.
More or less, yes.
More or less. So, yes, our heating and cooling is changing. It's getting warmer earlier. So these cicadas are not synchronizing their emergence right with food supplies and everything else. So, they're used to coming out at the end of April, early May, and they could be like closer to March, which ain't gonna go well for them.
No.
Did you find out your xylem phloem thing yet?
There it is. Basically, you kind of had it right too. Basically, xylem and phloem are in both locations.
Okay.
But there's more xylem in the root than
definitely, because it's kind of more of the storage spot.
Yes.
So these little sap suckers are down there.
And that actually is interesting in and of itself.
That they're sap suckers?
Yes, because the thing is, this is actually not a nutritional thing. It's very difficult to get nutrition from that.
Well, they're getting moisture, nutrient. I thought nutrients, but I know they're getting moisture.
They're getting moisture and a couple nutrients, but they're not getting enough because there's not enough. The amino acids are all incorrect. So actually, there's only like 3 or 4 things, like aphids, these guys, and like something else that basically have evolved to actually use this as nutrients because it's not good. It's really shitty. And also ancestrally they all were predators because that like stabby bit is actually evolved from stabbing other insects and sucking the blood out of them. Or, well, they're not blood, but they're juices.
They're juices.
Because they don't exactly have blood per se, but they have stuff that do the same purpose.
Yeah.
But then they evolved this because nothing else was eating it after vascular plants showed up, and then they basically have this. Now, what's super interesting is how they're able to get the correct nutrients because they don't actually
get them. So how are they getting them?
Bacteria. They have bacteria that is specialized for them, that the bacteria takes that nutrients and then creates the correct amino acids so that they can survive.
Okay.
Now, what's really interesting
is
this bacteria is intracellular bacteria. Do you realize what that means?
So that's in their bodies.
No, it's in their cells of their
cells. In their cell.
Yes.
So kind of like their own kind of mitochondria. So they've got bacteria inside their cells.
Me down this whole rabbit hole of research.
Okay, I want to know. This is exciting.
So basically, there's a bunch of bacteria that they call intracellular bacteria, which live inside the cells of other cells. It was very funny. I was watching a SciShow episode, and Hank Green got just smacked down by an expert because Hank Green's like, a mitochondria is not a bacteria because it can't live outside the cell. And then the specialist who literally specializes in intracellular bacteria is like, I'm sorry, but no. Because there is no actual defined line of what is bacteria or not just because it's in a cell or not. So there's actually hundreds of different types of intracellular bacteria.
I know there's a lot of theories on it. There's these are small bacteria because there's a symbiotic relationship between the cicadas and these guys. And what it is they need them. Like mitochondria has 13 genes in it, maybe something like that. I don't remember at all.
A regular bacteria has 4,000 genes in it, but these intracellular bacteria only have 300. So they're not quite as small.
What are intracellular bacteria living on?
They're in the cell. So
I get that, but what are they using to produce the proper nutrients?
Well, that's just it. So the cicada absorbs the stuff from the plant, and then that gets absorbed into the cells.
And the bacteria are the ones
not in every cell of the cicada. They're in specialized digestive cells, and then those absorb it, and then that happens, and then it just bleeds out the correct nutrients to the rest of the body.
Okay.
But
Okay, cool.
it's
But they're
also,
all
we're not done.
over.
We're not done yet.
Oh, we're not done yet? Okay.
Because
okay.
Because the babies have to get the bacteria. And these are intracellular. And they're not in the egg.
How the fuck are they getting them?
This female, not only when she does make an egg, she then creates a packet of these bacteria that go in with the egg.
Inside her body, does the packet go in?
Yes, this happens in there, and then she
God, this is the craziest egg story ever.
So,
it's like
so they create the eggs, they get inseminated, but then there's also like this little sac that just has this specialized bacteria because literally none of the children would survive at all because they wouldn't be able to eat
bacteria
without it. So
and they don't ever really meet mom.
And this bacteria, like the mitochondria, is matrilinearly. You can actually find the genetic line of an individual by looking at that bacteria, and you can find the matrilinear line of the cicada.
Okay, that is amazingly fascinating. I don't know if there are people out there who aren't as nerdy as us. Maybe that was boring. But listen to more of this show. You'll find this absolutely fascinating. That the egg isn't just the egg complete coming out of the chicken with a hard shell. The egg's going through that, and before it's kind of getting its final shell, which is kind of squishy because it's an insect.
Different, of course, but it'd be like the yolk portion being added into the
like most of it's done, and then whoop, this little organ comes I'm picturing something out of like some sort of like sci-fi drama, just going like.
I'm not sure if it's. I don't know how.
And like, here's your bacteria in your pod.
Yeah, this is the bacteria pod. It's kind of like a yolk thing for them. It technically isn't in the egg. It's just put there to be absorbed with the egg when the egg grows. So
that's crazy cool. Okay, so then that is living off the stuff, the sap from the tree.
Yep.
And then providing nutrients to the growing.
It's like our E. coli. We couldn't survive without E. coli.
Yeah.
Because it makes vitamin K, and if we didn't have vitamin K, we'd die. So,
and there are some people who can't handle it properly anyway.
Right,
God,
exactly.
What's wrong with you guys?
Yeah,
you can't handle your vitamin K.
Except we just are filthy animals, so that's how our babies get it.
filthy animal. Well, yes, we
literally. How does your baby get the E. coli in its system? Well, you didn't wash your hands, and
at least we're not koalas.
Yeah, well,
at least we're not pap. We'll teach you guys what pap is. It's from koalas. And suddenly that cute, fuzzy, adorable koala will horrify you.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Oh. And you'll learn that the true insult is smooth brain. Don't ever want to be a smooth brain.
I forgot about the other theory. Did I talk about the Ice Age theory?
We did not. We did not go through that survival strategy.
Theory of why they're on this time scale. It has jack all to do with anything that's existing right now. And it has to do with the fact that when they first evolved their timeline, they evolved it with plants and predators in the Ice Age that had a colder time frame.
Okay.
Because a lot of these are they just basically, the world was colder. So basically it stretched out that annual to the periodic. And basically this is just a genetic remnants from the Satiation Theory.
And it's still working from then. And they're like, hey,
it's not broke against it, so fuck, we're going with it. So and that kind of goes also with the breeding avoidance theory as well.
Okay, so it's all going together. Nice.
Yes, right, those are the theories. Which one's right?
I prefer
we can find a bunch of cicada scientists, get them all liquored up, and see which one comes out of the bar fight at the end, because that's, I think, the only way we'll.
I don't know. I think the predatory or cetacean guy's gonna win because he's gonna, wait the other guys out. He'll let them beat each other up so he could run. I know that theory well. I like that theory. That's my
the breeding avoidance theory ones. That they might be a little horny and they might need to show off. That's a drive, man.
Ew. So anyway, cicadas they're insanely easy prey. Okay, so I had to really look up. It's really hard. Not many people know. Actually, I think it's mostly people don't care.
Yes.
About the instar nymph phases that they go through. Most people don't care. It's like I had to look at it, and it was like, okay, that one looks like a translucent whitish small ant.
Right.
And then it molts, goes into another one. It's less translucent, more of a light brown, still very ant-like. Then the next one, it's gotten bigger and more brown,
And the
still
problem
very
is
ant-like.
the
And it wasn't until like its fifth, the one that's like
yeah,
about ready to come out of the ground, that suddenly I'm like, oh, okay.
that's
Its
the thing
shell
that I
looks
know.
harder. It looks more segmented, looks more, because we think of a cicada as what we see, which are the red eyes, the black body, those orange veined wings, couple inch,
Yeah.
an inch to 2 inches long, like a big guy. But it wasn't until that fifth instar stage that I was like, oh, okay, that looks cicada-ish now. And
Yep.
so I don't get all the different stages. And it might be because I didn't get a lot of information. I had to dig deep to get
Well,
just what
that
I
goes
got,
into the
because
thing that
nobody
we don't
cares.
know exactly. It's not so much that we don't care. We don't know. Remember, they live 6 feet underground, and
Oh, I thought
also
it was
when they
2 feet.
well 2 to 6, yeah,
2 to 6. Okay, probably in
yeah,
there.
somewhere in there. They live under the ground, and the thing is, when you dig them up, you basically kill them.
Yeah,
So
you destroyed them.
there
So
are labs out there where they have designed a thing so they can monitor them under the ground, but this is like within the last 5 to 10 years. So
that's got to be a really
and
exciting
even
day-to-day
that's
job.
really hard because you're still, how are you looking at them? You're still in a thing of dirt. So they have
Yeah.
to use, I don't know if they use like
Right up against the plexiglass. We're like, hey.
well, I don't know if
I
they're
know.
using ultrasound or things like that. But the thing is, these guys are so sound oriented. Could ultrasound fuck with them? You never know. So
It's like just the observation of the atom disrupts what the atom is and where it is.
yeah, exactly. Yes. So
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
why we don't have a lot of information, because literally right now we do have the 5 kind of idea. There could be more that we don't know, but
Could be. And it's really kind of like, to me, being a lay person and not really knowing a lot, and I look at it and I'm like, oh, look, it's more brownish.
right.
But something else could be done. When insects molt or go through metamorphoses, some of them can be very small changes and some of them can be drastic. I mean, we all know the caterpillar and the butterfly.
Right.
But did
Which
you
is the
know that
last phase of these guys anyway.
yeah, but did you know that inside the chrysalis of the caterpillar, it turns all to goo. So
Yes.
what was the head is not necessarily what
Well,
was
it
the
is,
head of the
but it isn't.
caterpillar, totally gooed, and parts of it are still now the head of the
Right.
butterfly. But I mean,
That's
it's
how
like
metamorphosis.
someone putting you into jello and then making you
Right. But the
sculpting
thing
you
is, the
somehow else.
cells know what they kind of were. So, like, your eyes probably are still going to be the eyes. They're just going to be completely different. Because the thing is, completely taking your ass and turning it into an eyeball, lots of energy. It's still going to be trying to conserve turning
Ocular
one eye
side.
to a different eye.
Yeah. Ocular
So,
cell to ocular cell,
while
easier. Yeah.
it does turn into goo, and you don't want to open it up because it's just going to go sploosh. The cells kind of know where they're supposed to be, and they intercommunicate, so they kind of still hover around the correct spot as they reform
Go and reform. So
yeah.
so like, you don't know how dramatic what's going on inside these molts and things are.
Right.
There could be huge inside anatomical changes that are going on that we just haven't observed or have not made note of yet.
Yep.
So they've gone through all these changes. They've lived underground for years and years. And as Whitney stated in the beginning, the final stage is what can last like 7 years of pretty much no change.
No real
That
change.
last instar stage is just waiting.
Basically, yes. They just sit and they wait.
They wait.
Um,
They wait for the right count and then the right temperature. And then they so once the ground 8 inches down is like 64 degrees Fahrenheit, like,
then they
not just like for a second, but like it's a steady.
yeah, it has to be for a little while. So that,
they all come out, millions per acre come out, try to find anything tall
Yep.
They prefer trees and things because so they try and
And
climb
usually they're at
vertically up something.
and usually they're at the roots of those trees anyway, so they just come up and
Yeah,
then
right on.
climb.
Climb up as well as they can. They usually come out they come out really at like dusk and dawn.
Yep.
Because those are the times
Remember that word?
Crepuscular.
Crepuscular.
Yay!
Yeah. Okay.
However, they are diurnal later on. Their adult form is diurnal. They come out crepuscularly because that's when the predators are less likely to be up and
I guess. Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. So they'll climb up the little stalks, make a little cocoon, because they don't have wings at this point yet. They still don't have wings.
I love collecting those little carapaces growing up.
Yeah, so that's why you're gonna see a lot of bodies. Because they're gonna do that molt. It's gonna take them. I can't remember how long it takes them. I think it takes they climb up the tree, start to do their molt, and their molt takes them a couple days. I want to say.
I can't remember.
I wrote it down too. It was in my notes. So it takes them a little while to do that.
Yes.
And then they hatch. Blah blah blah. Whatever. So you're gonna see that first wave of bodies is really just their molts. Then they have to wait about 6 to 10 days. So after they've molted, they're going to wait 6 to 10 days for their shells pretty much to harden, their wings to strengthen before they're going to fuck up your eardrums. And now they are ready to fuck up your life.
Particularly the males. The ones that most people hear are the males. They're going, "Hey, want to get laid before I die?
Please get me laid before I die." Now these guys they're so cool. I had to look up a lot of, so we're going to give you a lot of reference numbers. So the loudest single cicada. Now this is, you have a cicada, you are 20 inches away, which is the standard measurement distance for measuring sound. So you're 20 inches away, and he's going to go 106 fucking decibels is his call.
Which is a loud one.
The quieter ones are about 75 decibels. Now, let's give you people who are not sound and audio crazies. We'll give you some rest. 75 is about the same your vacuum cleaner makes. 75 decibels, about that. 106 is right in between the difference, right in between what a chainsaw and a jackhammer make.
Right.
One little bug is producing all of that.
I believe the decibel scale is actually on a logarithmic scale as far as energy is concerned. So every little bit that it goes up is not just like, oh, this went up 1. It's like it went up 10. Oh God.
Oh God. Yeah. It's not like, your thing in your car, your volume control is linear. This is not linear. This is logarithmic. This is going from 1 to 20 to 60 to 300. That's the kind of scale we're looking at. So they're really, really, really fucking loud
for this little fucker.
Yeah. The EPA, and this is going to be an opinion piece. I know the EPA in America recognizes
Environmental Protection Agency for all you non-Americans.
Says so they say that anything over 70 decibels for extended periods of time can lead to hearing loss. That's so, like, if you work somewhere and the sound of the machines is standardly over 70 decibels, you should wear hearing protection.
Or if you work concerts for a period of time during your college career, you might not have both of us.
So, and of course, this is one of those studies where it's like on average, because we don't know, it's not nice to just like, well, you're going to go at 70 decibels, you're going to go at 80, you're going to go at 90 for 8 hours a day, and we're going to see what happens. That's really not ethical, and all that other stuff. So this is kind of what they say. So we're actually very fortunate that cicadas are diurnal, which means awake during the day. They go to sleep at night, so people can sleep at night who are in these delightful areas of Illinois soon.
They're right outside your window.
Because you hear them every summer. And this noise, don't confuse this noise with like grasshoppers. Grasshoppers, are kind of rubbing parts of their body against each other to make their noise. No, I saw the fucking cartoon, Whitney. It's a fiddle. They have a fucking fiddle.
Goddamn fiddle.
It is not their legs. Oh, that could be the legs of another grasshopper. Because where did a grasshopper get such a small fiddle? That's
From
suspect.
the limbs of his enemies.
So these guys, they actually, I learned a whole new word just for this episode, just for you, our wonderful fans who I love. And now I've lost it in my notes. Oh my god!
It's Timble.
Timble! Timble, Timble, Timble. Sounds like it should be like a fairy tale prince should be named
Yes,
Timble.
I kept thinking Thimble the whole time. I'm like,
Timble. Timbalina.
But which
so it's actually Timbles are an exoskeleton structure used to make noise. So it's not rubbing two parts of a body against each other. It's actually vibrations.
Actually, it is rubbing parts next to each other. What it is it's a rib-like structure, and literally it expands and contracts, and that expansion and contract makes all the ribs rub against the rib next to it.
So the exoskeleton has thinner membrane parts than thicker parts that kind of are like ribs. So that's what,
well, no, there's exoskeleton in there. The membrane parts,
but it's not a rib, but it
rib-like. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I was trying to help. I was fine.
It's rib-like. And the exoskeleton bits are rubbing against each other. That's what actually causes the noise.
Okay, so
the rest of it just allows it to expand and contract to allow those things to rub and also create a.
You just want to cocks and rubbing. That's all you're about today. Cocks and rubbing.
Rub that rib thing for the pleasure.
That rib thing. Oh God, we made it worse. How did I make it fucking worse? All right, and then their body chamber acts like a resonance chamber.
Yep.
So like. I don't know how you want to think about it. Like I'm trying to
think of the timble like the amphitheater. Think of the timble like the strings on a violin, and then the body is literally the body of the violin, just allowing that sound to like
it just amplifies, lets it build and amplifies it out. So it's really cool. Like they got like a whole section just for making fuck me calls.
Yes, but not the female.
Not the female. These are the males. These, I'm not sure. I would think that they have some structure like it, but the females typically will make a clicking sound that sounds a lot like us. Yeah, like they call it a wing flick, actually. So if you're bored, look up. There's a wonderful video of our Lord and Savior Dave Attenborough, doing little clicky noises to this male cicada and making it like chase him around. It's him hollering at a male cicada like, come here, big boy. Nope, come over here. Nope, come over here. By doing little snaps with his fingers. It's pretty close to the sound. So the males are doing, and every species of cicada has its own song, different rhythm, decibel, timbre, everything, I mean, because I'm trying to think of 3,000 different things that sound totally different that I would be able to pick out within the musical range they have. Okay.
Yes.
But it's pretty freaking cool. So they all sound different. So the guys just sit there, I guess, and holler at the ladies until the ladies say,
we're right over here.
I do want a piece of that segmented arthropod. Yeah.
Yes. And since we're on the thing of sex, there is something that's also actually it goes into what we were starting to talk about at the beginning of the episode that was non-cicada related, and it comes back into play here.
Go. I want to hear it.
So there is a fungus among us,
as always,
that makes them into gay zombies.
More gay zombies.
So what happened?
Okay, yeah, I want to hear this.
So the fungus gets in them and basically makes them live when they shouldn't be alive after it's fed off of them, but it needs to spread to other cicadas. So what it does is it makes the male cicada that it has now inhabited start flicking its wing like a female to attract other males to hump it. And then that's how it's a sexually transmitted gay
sexually transmitted disease.
And it literally turns the cicada gay and a zombie. So it's like a gay zombie fungus. So that
zombie fuck buddy.
So that really changes. Well, that'll be the next Among Us or not Among Us, whatever that zombie show was that based on the video game.
The Walking Dead?
No, not The Walking Dead.
Oh, okay, I'm like, wait, they're gonna have to like from what I saw Walking Dead to gay sex zombie thing. There's
No,
gonna
the
be
fungus zombies.
have to be
The fungus zombie show.
the fucking zombie show.
Fungus zombie show, but this will be the next one.
Show. Okay, because I was saying fucking zombie show. I've been watching the different
Last
porn
of Us.
channels.
That's right. It's not Among Us. The Last of Us.
The
That
Last
one.
of Us.
The zombies
Okay.
are funguses.
Oh,
Anyway,
that actually makes a lot of sense compared to, I mean, parasitic. What do
yes.
you do with a zombie? Do you go parasite, bacteria, virus? What?
Yeah.
What?
Which
yeah,
way do you go?
fungal. At least there
Fungal,
are
at least
a lot of
there's
zombie
examples of that in
fungals
nature. Yes,
all over the place.
So yeah, so basically that'll be the next version of Last of Us. It'll be the pornographic version. It's going to be gay porn, obviously. But
your thing is your thing, and don't let anyone shame you about anything.
Yes. So that was
my
a
God!
real
You know what we've
thing to
done?
find.
We've landed ourselves. We're gonna get calls by some religious group saying we need you to talk about why gay is wrong.
I just love the title of this article.
Thanks. Great. And then I'm gonna have to yell at them.
A sexually transmitted fungus is making trillions of cicadas hypersexual and gay. I love that title.
I want that to be the title of this episode.
Somebody's already got
it. Damn it! And a scientist got to do that. I'm in the wrong branch of science.
That was just a news article talking about it. But yeah.
Oh, I love it. And they're really, I mean, like I said, giant derps, because they're not aggressive. They don't have anything to sting you. They have got a proboscis. They all insects have a proboscis. They could stab you theoretically with their proboscis, but they also don't really transmit any diseases either.
They don't transmit diseases, and they don't even eat the crops. Like, people mistake them for locusts. Locusts are they're
grasshoppers.
They're grasshoppers.
Part of that category.
The name for them.
But yeah, so these guys, a lot of what you see the damage done, they're really only damaging to smaller, newer trees and things because they're just clinging to the outside, and just the weight of them all can damage Orthoptera. Okay, the damage
is them. Hemiptera or true bug is cicada.
Okay, so the other ones, the locusts and stuff, are eating everything. These guys really aren't eating much. They're getting a little bit of sap here and there still, but they're really not doing a lot of damage because they're not trying to grow.
Once they become an adult, they don't eat. They don't actually eat. There's a lot.
I saw different sources. So
yeah, there's a couple things where they catch them like stuck in there, but they've never actually caught them feeding. Like, just for some reason they stuck their head into the.
What's in here, derp?
Well. Also,
I totally see it. I can totally see it.
Well, remember,
I heard a clicking sound.
Well, also remember, that's a strategy of a fungus zombie for both ants and for these guys. They get as high up as they can, and then that for their final thing, they like lock themselves up so that way they get the biggest spore explosion.
Spread. Oh yeah. Because they explode the outer carapace. Yeah.
Yeah. So when they finally do die by the fungus, they like latch onto the side. So anybody mentioning that, it could be a potential side effect of that fungus, not an actual normal behavior.
Okay.
But generally they don't eat. Generally they don't eat in their final stage. There's a lot of animals that do that.
There are a lot. Yeah, that just fuck and
they're
lay their eggs and die.
We've been eating for 10 years, 17 years. It is time.
We are full. It's time to fuck. We've made our calls. I wonder if they come up with dance routines too, because some of them do dance. So they're coming to maybe that's what they're doing. The final 10 years, they're working on the vocals. They're working on the dance moves and the vocals. They're like, we want to be the sexiest boy band. We got to get this together, damn it.
Right.
That's so. I mean, that's kind of their life is kind of be born. Okay, so the mom is pregnant, and they mate with everybody all the time. It's a giant cicada orgy. Giant orgy
too is just a giant orgy.
There's, the females tend to mate once, maybe twice, because really they're
done.
They're in it for the babies. The men though are like everything and anything.
I will mate every chance I have for the next few weeks until I die.
Because they've only got a couple weeks. They've only got I think like 4 to 6 weeks.
something like
So,
that. If that.
when you're right about the breakdown moment, like when you're about to lose your shit completely because these bugs have been making so much goddamn noise, they're all going to die. So
Yep.
you will
And
get
then
your
the
wish. They'll
scavengers
all
have
die.
a
Be
heyday.
fine. So the moms will like scrape a little like V shape in a branch tree, something, lay the eggs, give them their little bacterial pouch, kind of Superman. Here's your pod. Our world is dying. Here you go. In you go. And then they'll hatch in a couple weeks. Fall, climb, fall to the ground, dig under the dirt, molt a bunch, learn to sing, come back up, molt again, scream for a long time, fuck, and then do it all over again. That's the life cycle.
Exactly.
It's pretty it seems kind of anticlimactic to me, but hey, whatever.
Right.
I gotta imagine some of those orgies are worth waiting 17 years for.
Yeah. Of course, they wouldn't know. They've never they don't have anything to compare to. It's like a whole bunch of virgins in an orgy. Oh, that sounds horrible.
Does this go where? And virgins who've never had a manual.
Does this go where?
They have no manual. No one's ever. They're like,
oh
wait,
God. I'm not going to get that out of my head. Gay, or not a gay, or that the virgin orgy. It's so hot. It's so confused.
I think my other. So David Attenborough is my Lord and Savior, but I have another Lord and Savior also, Robin Williams, and he does a bit where he's like, you get was it 27 virgins when you die.
Oh,
suicide bombers. Yeah. He's like, anybody who's been with a few virgins, like, occasionally you want a thumb in the ass. Like, guy's got a point.
Oh my.
So that's pretty much our Megicicadas. Not Megi. Damn it.
Megicicada.
There's going to be the soundbite is going to be just me saying it all the different wrong ways.
Like one of these days, I'm going to go through and just clip out all the incorrect state words.
You know what? You won't have time. You won't have time.
Is true.
Because every episode, there's probably here's Jen's doing it again. Oh, wrong. Nope. Wrong. Nope. So yeah. I think I actually don't mind the sound of the cicadas.
I like the sound. It's nostalgic for me.
Yeah, it's cool. It's just it makes you feel very. Yeah. It's like the world is screaming nature at you.
Nature's here. God damn it.
God damn it. You will pay attention to me. Not just the smell of fresh cut grass and a beautiful leaf every now and then. No, fuckers.
None of your domesticated shit. The wild shit's here too.
Right? So I think they're cool. And the fact that they're really they quiet down at night is nice.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people are, I gotta go to bed at 7 p.m. Well, I'm sorry. Fucking nature don't work like that. Nature ain't working on your time schedule. Get rid of what is it? The time flippy thingy.
Oh, daylight savings?
Yeah, get rid of daylight savings. Maybe that'll help you out. I don't know. Maybe. Probably not, but maybe it'll help you out.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's
on that note,
world of cicadas.
We just continue on with our hatred of daylight savings time, and now we all will be wondering what a virgin orgy will look like.
Right? And it's not like, I mean, if we think about, once again, we always go into what we think of as normal. But for them, normal's like 6 legs, some wings, some antenna, a proboscis. I mean, you're throwing a lot more anatomy out there.
And this guy's got a costume. He's got a mushroom on his head.
I mean, there's a lot more that can go right or wrong depending on how you look at things. Somehow they managed to do it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's such a derpy little thing that so many get eaten, yet there's so many that manage to survive enough to mate and make more.
So, and also, I'm now thinking about that fungus again. I mean, they say gay, that makes them gay because that's the easy thing to say, but it's acting like a female. And so is it trans actually?
My God. A trans-inducing zombie.
Oh, this is going to be a movie at some point in time.
No,
Yes.
it's I would say, but that's who they really are.
Yes.
Is it?
Well, no. Well, okay. So
Maybe there's got to be another term. I don't mean to insult anyone. Like I've always said, you do you. I don't.
Well, I'm just thinking that it's now
as long as I don't have to
acting and behaving
participate.
like a female.
Yeah, it stops them.
Or it's just the catcher. It's just the catcher.
It just wants to be a catcher at that point.
Yeah.
It's tired of pitching,
all.
or it's
All
probably
right.
pitched out. I
Yeah.
don't know what proper.
We're gonna go into a
baseball
very
terms.
bad wormhole at this time. So I think we should end it here before our losses are.
We are going to be hopefully by this time you guys are listening to this, we'll have a Patreon thing. So
Yep.
I don't know, maybe we should do a reverse Patreon. I don't know. I'll pay you for the best cicada orgy drawing that you can come up with. I'll pay for that.
Oh God!
I'm not saying a lot, but I want to see.
Finish it.
Our listeners are wonderful, creative, intuitive people who want knowledge as much as I do.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that they can come up with something pretty fucking fascinating for me.
Okay.
I think I'm leaning toward Rocky Horror Picture Show, but I think they can do better.
All right.
I don't think they're limited. Like
Right.
Maybe I am. I am going to shut the fuck up now.
On that note, I think it's
yeah, Whitney's been trying to get out of here because I think he's got some drawings he's got to go make now.
Yes.
All right. We love you all so much. Until next time, which will be a fun outside the box episode.
Yeah.
Until then, no gods, no masters. We love you.